It was on our show the other day.
Liano.
Hey, we are live on Facebook.
All right.
So we're getting started here. I don't think Deb is going to join us. Jim's coming on right now because she's got work to do in the garden. However, she's going to start right off with it because it is the biggest, newest news of 2020. Michael Thompson finally got the commutation from our governor that we have been expecting and wanting for a long time. It just happened today, along with 3 other prisoners too. I really don't know the details on them, but 4 people were commuted today and Michael Thompson was one of them. So a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time and energy went into a lot of people to make that happen. Of course, he was in prison for a stupid fucking reason for decades. So about fucking time. And of course, you know, we talked about it a little bit, but Richard DeLisi also a couple of weeks ago was finally let out. And, you know, it is awesome and it feels great. Can you imagine how Michael Thompson fucking feels right now, man?
Yeah.
Wow. Can't imagine. I can't imagine, man. Fuck. I can only imagine that it's just profound, you know, and so happy for him. Still pissed off that that anybody has to go through this bullshit though.
Yeah, it is. It's a source of frustration that the probation and commutation system in Michigan is so onerous. But having said that, we did it. We did it. I mean, there's a lot of people that went into this, as Jamie mentioned, but if you look at the timeline, this started to come to prominence. The Cannabis Caucus had an interview with Dana Nessel. We got her interested. She wrote a letter to the governor. The Cannabis Caucus had another interview with Dana Nessel that we recorded, where she said she was horrified when she learned the details and thanked us for bringing it to her attention. We had the parole board hearing. I participated in that. Mike McCurdy participated in that, giving testimony, trying to help get him popped out. And then it happens, as sometimes dreams do, right? As only dreams can. Sometimes from an unexpected corner at an unexpected time comes serenity and peace. And I hope that Michael and his family are able to embrace a full and loving life together, because they certainly have a lot of time to make up.
That's fucking awesome, man. I do want to encourage the celebration and being happy, especially just think about what's going through this dude's head right now. He was very touched during the parole hearing. Everybody said, look, this guy is fine. He didn't really do anything. He's perfectly able to come out and be productive and not cause any problems. This is, you know, people were very rational and real about it and describing everything. And he was taking it all in. And he knew that there was a lot of support and love for him out there at that time. I can only imagine where he is now, knowing he's one step closer to walking out.
Well, and listening to him describe his last few moments as a free man, he drove north on Dort Highway, stopped at a traffic light, a red traffic light on Robert T. Longway. There was a police cruiser already in the intersection. The light turned green. The police lights flashed blue, and that was the last moment he spent as a free man in America. And the odd part about it is that literally half a block away sits a licensed dispensary selling cannabis, selling by the hour more cannabis than that guy got put away for possessing in all of his actions. So our system has advanced so many ways, and we want to draw positive attention in places where it's due, but there are some things that we still need to clean up. There are some messes from the previous life that we lived that we still have to come by and take care of. And if we forget that, if we're so busy racing forward that we stop to look behind, people get lost. People get lost because we failed them. So this is where we won.
So you bring up some good stuff here. Berg's coming on. You know, the situation with Michael Thompson wasn't a secret. There were many efforts being made to bring this to people's attention and to get meetings with the governor and all this other kind of stuff. But it really was the meeting by the reformed Michigan Democratic Cannabis Caucus that include Rick and Mike McCurdy and Zara Abbas.
And Jamie.
Yeah, that got word to the attorney general, which prompted action, which prompted more action. I mean, sometimes these quirky things happen. Everybody knows this problem needs to be fixed, but it's not going to be set in motion unless the right thing happens and the right person does the right thing at the right time. And we were definitely a part of that. I mean, we should be very happy that Last Prisoner Project, Redemption, us, it all culminated, and many other supporters too. It all culminated.
Montel Williams too hashtagged it. I saw some professional athletes hashtagging Free Michael Thompson as well. Clearly, when you have that kind of national attention, you're actually making some progress. Stephen D'Angelo with Last Prisoner Project was very involved as well.
So, I want to talk about year in review today. This is a big part of the story of year in review. I mean, everything we're talking about took place this year, as far as a lot of the heavy action moves to be made to get him out, or to get at least the commutation. I mean, we'll feel even better about it when he steps out, and that's a big press deal, and we can see that in action, and have another celebration as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure maybe we'll get him on this show. I mean, it'd be nice to have the conversation with him from his own heart. How did that situation feel? How was that experience? Again, other than it being pretty profound, it's difficult to imagine what that was actually like, what it is actually like for him. And you'd have to be in his situation to really know. I mean, and fortunately we're not, but too many people are. Hey, Roach is going to join us.
Well, good. Right. The situation with Michael Thompson was fueled by the drug war, but it was also fueled by a racist society and by a judicial system that's supposed to uphold the rights of every American citizen, but very clearly over the decades proved that they didn't really hold the rights of black men as equal as they did to white men.
Didn't mean to cut you off, Berg, but definitely wanted to ask Ryan to come on, especially in light of the commutation today. And the Redemption Foundation was a big part of those discussions, and has spearheaded the group that has raised a lot of money to help people out in Michael Thompson's situation, when and if they are to be released. So I just want to get your reaction, Ryan. Plus, we're talking about year in review 2020. This was a big story, and it ends on a good note.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I didn't. I'll be quite honest with you. I didn't know what to expect from our governor, if she was going to do anything or not. I'll be honest, and she actually did it. And three other gentlemen were also in the same boat, and hopefully a lot more. Rudy Gammo, but that's just exciting. We needed a win. We needed to get some momentum going. I mean, we put a lot of energy into this, as you guys know, and been a lot of work. Maybe that's just kind of more of the dam, or just the start of the pushing that boulder up the hill. It's moving a little bit now, and what we need is this, to see both sides of the aisle, and everyone say, "Oh, of course you should release him," and get good press, and everyone, both, whether you're left or right or neither in between, should think this is a good idea. And we always got to prove to these politicians that it's a political winner first, before anything else. So it's exciting. I would like to say that I did get my post up 1 minute before Rick Thompson.
Your Facebook post?
I was pushing. Yeah, I was pushing hard on my PR team to make sure. I was like, we got to beat Rick. So 1 minute.
Well, that's a standard. That's a standard. If you beat Rick, it's a punch on this. Don't even try to do that.
Zara's pretty speedy.
Excited to get the foundation up. It's really, I have a good team around me. I have a business coach, an accountant, and a PR and marketing team. But besides that, it's just me and my relationships with my growers and processors. So I'm not able to do as much as I'd like, but I'm working on that. I have a plan with the foundation, especially to really get things going in the second quarter of next year, to where I can spend a lot more time. So. We did work. We teamed up with Last Prisoner Project and Michigan Cannabis Caucus, the Democratic Party, and then Weed Maps and Montel helped some, but it was really our group of three, and we raised a lot of money to get this going, and we're putting money on people's books and helping, and we're also now when Michael gets out, he's got plenty of money to get established and get going, and so this was the first. So you definitely celebrate along the way. It's all a process, and I take a break, and I'm going to be celebrating this one tonight when I get home.
Some intertwined stories there, and it's all cool, all in 2020. There's kind of a return of activism to a degree. We've talked about that in the show before. And then that turned out to have some positive results within the same year and to set the pace for hopefully some more good stuff next year along these lines.
Yeah, it's really cool. I didn't know what to expect with the Last Prisoner Project, but Sarah and Michelle, who are really running the day-to-day, they are super talented ladies that are in it for all the right reasons. And they're dedicated and they're organized. So they really helped with the overall structure and getting things, but we're boots on the ground in Michigan, and they're making Michigan their number one state because we got such an activism community. We've had our doors kicked in for so much. There's so many people that are upset about it, and they created this mess. They created this whole situation on themselves. And then that's why when the cops say they're mad that they got Gretchen elected, they ran Bill Schuette, and same thing with Dana. Like, they did that by creating all of us and what we went through and how long we fought. But like, Michigan's the test case. We got the most activists. We got the most favorable AG that they're working with, the legislature, and people are engaged. And we have a lot of people that have been adversely affected by having the door kicked in or getting charges. So it's just they're going to take Michigan and make it their state and then try to duplicate it in the rest. So I'm glad to glad we're getting the attention. I'm glad we had the success, and I'm glad so many people in Michigan care.
Hey, Rick, go ahead this time, man. I was going to jump in again, but go ahead.
Sarah Gersten from the Last Prisoner Project, who you're talking about, she spoke at Michael Thompson's parole board hearing. I also spoke at that too. There's about 13 of us that gave testimony. She was very, very professional, very eloquent. And some of the things that she talked about, the general reasons why we want to embrace commutation and expungement, and why people should generally be released from parole, and the dangers of remaining incarcerated. Good asset to have. I'm glad that they're treating Michigan as a test case, because that means we get our favorite son, Michael Thompson, out of jail. But I imagine Ohio needs that same kind of attention. Illinois needs that same kind of attention. And I got to tell you, we focus a lot about states with big urban populations, but some of the worst bastards,
rural states.
Some of these rural states, man, these Wyoming guys.
Well, look at Oklahoma, which has got a law more open than us now. 3 years ago, they were the #1 per square mile spot in the world, basically, for marijuana arrests, and now it's just the Wild West down there, which is awesome. But that needs, that's crazy down there that they're not done. It's coming down there too, obviously. But you're exactly right. It needs to happen.
The important thing is Michigan is a success story, so that when they start to duplicate what we did here in other states, they have a positive example that they can build from. And we were part of that. And I'm sure that that's an ongoing relationship. We talk about the Redemption Foundation, but also the Michigan Cannabis Prisoner Release Project has started as well, too. Ryan, can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, so it's Michigan Cannabis Prisoner Release Fund, and we created it through Last Prisoner Project. But myself, the Michigan Cannabis Caucus, and we all talk on how that money gets allocated. They totally are cool. Like we decide it for Michigan, and we raised almost now 45 grand. It was initially 30. We're up to 45. We're getting more trickling in, and I think this will be a big help. But it's whether it's putting, helping out Rudy Gamo's family, who's they're having trouble with his son's leukemia bills right now, and putting money on people's books, putting 10 grand aside to show that when Michael Thompson gets out, he has an apartment, he has support, because they use that against you. Oh, you don't have a family. Oh, you don't have a place to stay. Oh, you don't have this. Well, why don't you? Well, and then so they were, even though we were telling them that we had this money for them, this funds, they were still, the parole board, that department was acting like he had no support. So that was one of the reasons we did it so publicly, is now you can't deny that Michael Thompson has money when he gets out, because it's all over the media, and you've been told that at the hearing. So that was part of the strategy there, because they were using that as a reason, as not even bringing it to the committee. So it's awesome. We're going to hopefully raise a lot more money, and I want to, we'll be real transparent where it goes, so more people can get excited about it. And I think we're still, like that list that we got from the AG's office, we're like at 1,000 people, and there's still other people in jail that aren't on that list that have their sentences enhanced because of marijuana, like a coke charge. Maybe you get it's 7 years, fine. You know, you did it, fine, but you had 3 grams when you're 19 years old, and now you got 15 years. Like, it's bullshit.
Right.
Like, that stuff's got to be addressed, because that's like, as you really start peeling the layers, you know, which I thought I knew a lot of the layers. I'm learning new layers of how fucked up weed plays as far as like keeping people, like our justice and our criminal system. It's crazy every step of the way.
Let me just jump in real quick. For our viewers that don't know, the list Ryan just mentioned is a list provided by the Attorney General's office to the Cannabis Caucus and Redemption Foundation and Last Prisoner Project, which lists out all of the prisoners in Michigan jails controlled by the state that had cannabis as a compounding issue in their sentence, or where they were directly sentenced as a result of it. That's a list we're working off of to decide who we can help pop out of jail.